Well, good morning. Welcome to the Needlebug. If you are new here, thank you so much for coming to join us today. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, and I am so glad you're joining me again. I just love having each and every one of you here. And for those of you who are new, my name is Karen, and today is Sunday, July the 10th at, wow, 11 o'clock in the morning. So what I thought I'd do today is just a quick video on what I have been working on. As most of you know, I've been having some trouble with my arm, so my stitching time has been, well, not up to what it used to be. So it's been a little bit limited, even though I have been stitching. I just can't stitch for as long as I used to stitch. I have to take it in shorter segments when I was used to pretty much stitching a large part of the day. So I can stitch for a period of time, then I take a break for a period of time. Stitch a little more, and take a break a little more. So in between there, I have been doing some knitting, which I'm not going to show you today because this is a cross-stitch channel and we'll keep knitting for something else. Just know that that's what I do to fill my time when I'm not stitching. So with that, let's have a look of what I have been working on. So the first one, I cannot find an update for where I was last time. But one of the ones that I am working on is Once Upon a Time. And here is what it looks like when it's finished. You can see it up there in the corner. Let me move it down a little bit and make it a little bit bigger so you can see. It's a Heaven and Earth design. It's Once Upon a Time. And let me bring it up here. Look, I can never get this right. Okay, let me close that. One of these days I'll get this right. Wrong way. This is my progress. Have it. I am so bad at holding these things the right way. So this is my progress. I stitched a little bit more down where you see the word once. You can't see it as well, but I did some filling in up in my upper right. So I did some. This is one I will pull out on occasion when I want some boring stitching, because that's about where this is. In here, you can see where I have some done, and it is, pardon the wrinkles, but it can get a bit boring because it's all solid color. And where I stitched the most is, wrong way, Jose, is over in here. I know, I am so terrible at holding these up. So that is Once Upon a Time. In all honesty, I did not keep a record of how many stitches I did. I will keep better records of, well, I don't have to keep the records since I switched over to using Markup RXP. And so far, I'm really kind of liking that. It has some things that Pattern Keeper doesn't have, but yet Pattern Keeper has some things that Markup doesn't have. So for what I'm doing at this point in time, I'm liking Markup because I don't have to keep the statistics. It keeps them for me, and then I can just add up for the month. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this one. So let's see. The next one I have been working on is, of course, my daughter's Christmas stocking. So it's Sir Frederick Frosty, and this is what it will look like when it's finished. Oh, sorry about that. Clicked the wrong thing. True to form, my friends. True to form. So this is what Fred will look like when he's finished. And this is what Fred looked like last time. Okay, this is the last time that I could find that I took a picture. Is it the last time you saw it? To truth be told, I'm not 100% sure, but it's the last time I took a picture that I think you may have seen. So with that, this, hold on, let me get this one out of the way. This is what happens when you're using a makeshift background, because the sun behind me would not allow you to see these very well. It would shine right through. And of course, you know, I have to do everything the hard way. So this is what Fred looks like now. There we go. There we go. So he's coming along. I am, I think, at 43%. Can I finish it till Christmas or before Christmas so that I can sew it together? We shall see. I'm hoping so. This is the one that I have been spending the most time on. So I'm hoping to have it done. If I don't, it really isn't that big a deal, because my daughter is not like jumping at the bit to have it finished. She's pretty much okay with it's done with when it's done. And then the next thing will be to do one for my son-in-law. So to give you a little bit closer up. Okay. Can I? Okay. I've been working mainly over in this area. There we go. And underneath Frosty's face, I completed in there, and that's where I was toying with Allison's method of Royal Rose. The method's okay. I would not say that I'm totally in love with it, but the main reason for that is I am just kind of over parked threads. Those hanging threads are just kind of right now getting on my last nerve, so to speak. So I'm kind of over it. Will I go back to it parking at some point in time? Probably. You all know what I do. I do one thing this week and another thing the next week and something else the third week, and I'm always switching around and trying different things and stitching different ways. And yeah, the back of my work shows it. It's not always neat as a pin, but you know what? I'm okay with that because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And seriously, isn't that all that matters? Really? So the whole bottom line is enjoy what you do, and you do you. So that's kind of where we're at. So Fred is getting most of my attention. Once Upon a Time gets my attention occasionally, but now this new piece has jumped into the mix, and now that my new Patoki stand came, and I think yes, I showed you all that in a video right previous to this one. So now that that stand is here, I made the decision of putting the Patoki over here in my stitching room. And it is working out perfectly. The thing I like the best about it is this. I hear my cat snoring. That's why I'm looking around. He sleeps right behind me and he snores. So if you hear that, that's what it is. I can hear it, but I don't think you can. The thing I like the best about the stand that I got is this. First of all, it comes at you from the side, just like the Lowry does. So that was a plus right off the bat. That was the number one reason motorcycles beeping their horns. That was the number one reason I got it, because I didn't want something that I had to sit in front of, because I like to sit in my recliner and I like to prop up my feet. So I wanted a stand that came from the side. The biggest reason that I truly love this stand is because the arm is so adjustable. Unlike the Lowry, where you just have certain places, when you increase the height, you only have so many choices, and you must use one of them because you have to put the pin in to keep it from going down further or to raise it up, and those are your options. With this stand, I can position that arm any place I want. So I can put it at the exact spot that is comfortable for me. And that has worked out fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And I am actually starting to stitch a little bit more because I can put it at the place where my arm is the most comfortable and it doesn't pull on my shoulder or pull on my arm. And I can stitch quite a bit longer. So right there is a win-win for me. Right there is the biggest, absolutely biggest reason that I love this stand. Now, the one downfall I have found, and there may be a way to fix this or to accommodate, is that when I put my next project I'm going to show you on the stand, because it is such a very, very large piece of fabric. Okay, it's actually a yard of 22 count. So my piece is actually 36 inches by 44 inches. Okay, so it is the full yard off the bolt. That piece is very heavy. And you have your arm that comes down off the stand, and then you have your mechanism that holds your hoop or your Q-snap. Okay. There's the clamp, just like the mini Patoki stand, that you put your hoop in. But behind that, attached to the arm, is another knob that you use to either level your hoop or adjust an angle on your hoop for you to stitch. What happens, or is happening, because my piece is so heavy with all that fabric, is that doesn't want to hold. So my hoop kind of does this. Okay, now, probably if I find a way to take that excess, and when I'm further over in the piece, this isn't going to be a problem. But if I need to find a way right now to take that excess and somehow have it up higher on the arm so that it doesn't put all the weight on that piece that wants to keep your hoop level for you. So that is my only challenge with this frame at the moment. I truly love it. I truly love it. I waited a long time for it. It was not cheap. We all know that. It was very pricey. However, it was well worth the wait. It was well worth the money. I do not regret one bit having purchased this frame and having had to wait. I'm in love with it. So there, that's my stand. And that's my review of the stand. And, you know, if you can afford it, granted, it's not for everybody because, yes, it's not cheap. But if it's something that you can afford and something that you are interested in, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, I love it. And I have been through, as a lot of you know, many stands. If I would have kept them all, I could have done a video on just reviewing different kinds of stands because I had so many over the years and so many that worked for me and then they didn't work for me depending on what I was doing. And yeah, now I have this one, and yes, I still have my Nurge. I will admit I do not use it. I put my Patoki stand over here. I put my Lowry stand over in the living room. I changed my living room stitchy spot a little bit, which is working out fine and wonderful. And I'm rather enjoying stitching in that spot in the evening. I love stitching in this spot during the day. So I really don't have use for the Nurge unless I'm going to take it somewhere, like to a day retreat. However, if I'm going to a day retreat, I'm going to take my mini Patoki because usually you're sitting at a table and the mini Patoki works wonderful on a table. So those are my go-tos at the moment. And I love them all. I love them all. So anyway, back to the start, that I started it a couple days before, but I'm calling it my birthday start. Since my birthday was on the 4th, and I had a new stand that came right before my birthday. What a great birthday present. Absolutely wonderful birthday present. Who could have asked for anything more? So I decided with that to christen a new stand, to celebrate my birthday, I needed a new start. Now, granted, I started it a few days before, but I'm still going to call it my birthday start. So this is what I started and what it will look like when it's finished. And that is called Autumn Church Frame by Dominic Davidson, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started up in the upper right hand, no, the upper left hand corner. So let me show you what I have done. So I did not take this one out of the hoop because I can use all the extra fabric to hold up behind it so that the sun behind me. It is a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. But I can hold this fabric up. There we go. And hold the fabric behind it so that you can see, and get that out of the way. And this is where I am on There we go. Autumn. Come on, focus. Autumn church frame. I think I have about 1,300 stitches done. And, well, I just can't make up my mind how I want to stitch this, to tell you the truth. I started going just plain old, picking a color, running it till it was nothing left, no thread left, and then going to the next color and stitching again till there was nothing left. Then I decided to try the Royal Rose, and again, the part threads just bothered my last nerve. So then I decided, okay, the concept of Royal Rose and avoiding column lines, what would happen if I worked just across the 10 by 10 blocks? And instead of just going willy-nilly all over, what if I went the same concept as Royal Rose and just worked across? So that's what I did for that top row of 10 by 10 blocks. Then I decided, okay, that wasn't so bad. I didn't park any threads. I just worked my thread until either I ran out or I had all the stitches stitched. So I thought, okay, this next part is not very confetti heavy. The next two rows of 10 by 10 blocks. So why don't I do 2 rows? And what I'm doing in there is, in those 2 rows, I'm just working cross country by color. So I will color complete within those 2 rows of 10 by 10 blocks. And when they're finished, then I'll move down to the next 2 rows of 10 by 10 blocks and see how that works. So like I said, I'm always experimenting. It keeps full coverage interesting. And I'm not parking. I am just working cross country till either I run out of that symbol or I run out of thread. And what I'm doing right now is, if I run out of thread and there's still more symbols, I'm still using that same color and completing that color within the 2 10 by 10 blocks. So that's the story on that. But I am rather enjoying stitching on this. And it's giving me the same, how can I say this? It's doing for me the same thing that Stitcher's Retreat did. It's like, oh, I love this. I love this. I really want to work on this. I don't want to put it down. I could tend to want to be on a mission. But I do need to finish the stocking. So I am pretty much at this point giving the stocking and this the love. This stays over in the living room on the Lowry stand, and I work on it in the evening. And Frederick Frosty stays over here on the Patoki stand, and I work on that during the day. And I take the breaks in between because of my arm, and hopefully eventually something will get finished. So that's my story for today. And that's what I have been working on. So what I will do now is, since I switched to Markup RXP, next time that we look at what I've been working on and my progress, I should have some statistics for you as far as how many stitches I've stitched and all of that good stuff. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my projects and the progress I think I made. I wish I could have found progress pictures for Once Upon a Time, but I think I have pictures, but they're not the right format to put in my video. And I think what I did is I posted them probably on Instagram or somebody else, or took them in another app other than like I took them to post on Instagram, and that formats them a little differently. So they weren't formatted that I could use it here. I needed them as a JPEG and they weren't. So anyway, we'll have correct photos of this progress this time that I can put them in the next work in progress update. I'm going to try and do these. I'll be better about it and do them once a month. So we'll see how that goes. And just an update on, I guess a lot of you know, or those that have followed me recently are aware that computer fits. Oh, it took me 3 days. 3 days to be able to post that last video. So my son-in-law is looking for a deal for me so that I can sell my Mac Mini that I really only got in February. But I'm going to replace it with a PC. So hopefully that's all going to work out for the better, and that will finally solve the issues that I have, other than the issues of me just being technically challenged sometimes or clicking the wrong thing. So we'll see how that goes. But I will keep you updated and let you know how that's going. And now it's making a funny noise. Anyway, that's it for today. And I will probably be doing a live next week. And there'll be a Stitch with Me next week. We'll see how that is, if the computer holds up, because I hear it kind of humming right now, which I've never heard before. So we'll see how that goes. And with that, my friends, I'm going to remind you of what I always remind you at the end of a video. And that is, there are no rules in cross-stitch, people. We all know that. The only rules are the ones you set for yourself. So the bottom line is, don't let anyone take your joy. Just do you. Do what makes you happy, and all shall be well. So with that, my friends, I will see you next time. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great week. And bye-bye for now. Okay, see, here we go. End the stream. Bye. See you next time.